Welcome back to another exciting video from my PLC Basic course. In the next few minutes, we will be diving into the amazing simulation software FactoryIO. Let's get started. In my opinion, there are three effective ways to learn PLC programming in a hands-on way. First, you can buy a real PLC, wire it with sensors and actuators, and test small programs. This is fun, but also time-consuming, expensive, and not very flexible. The second option for practical PLC training is using PLCSIM. I introduced PLCSIM in the last chapter. The software allows you to create a virtual PLC on your computer and test your programs. The advantage of PLCSIM is that we save on PLC hardware costs. The downside is that the connection between theory and practice can be a bit difficult. Plus, let's be honest, it can get really boring. In my opinion, the best way for practical PLC training is using FactoryIO. In FactoryIO, you can create virtual machines and control them with PLCSIM or a real PLC. The learning effect is incredibly high and it's so much fun to see your simulated systems in action. That's why I will show you FactoryIO today. How does FactoryIO work? Very simple. With this software you can create virtual machines using drag and drop. These machines have sensors and actuators that you can use in your PLC program. You can control the machines in FactoryIO using a real PLC, but you can also use PLCSIM. Using PLCSIM eliminates the cost for expensive hardware. That's why I will be showing you this option in today's video. But before I show you how to use FactoryIO, let's first answer the question, where do I get the software? This guy, that's me. And believe it or not, I'm an official reseller of FactoryIO since 2020. If you want to buy the product, check out my online store at plccoach.com/FactoryIO. You would be supporting me a lot if you purchase the software in my shop. If FactoryIO is too expensive for you, no problem. I am not forcing anyone to buy the software. You can continue my course using just PLCSIM. However, I want to point out that my website also has a link to a trial version of FactoryIO. You can download it for free and test it 30 days without any restrictions. And trust me, you can learn a lot in 30 days. Alright, commercial is over, what's next? It's simple. Here is our plan. First, we will build a small machine in FactoryIO that works just like our training system from the previous videos. Next, we will connect FactoryIO with the simulated PLC from PLCSIM. In the final step, we will use our program to control the virtual system inside FactoryIO. We are transforming our computer into a fully functional PLC training system. Let's not waste any time, let's get started. If you have downloaded and installed FactoryIO, you will find this icon on your desktop. Everything I am about to show you now works even with the free trial version. First, let's create a new project. Here you see our empty factory floor. FactoryIO works just like the TI portal using drag and drop. On the right side, you will find all available objects. You can place them anywhere in your virtual factory. Of course, in this first video, we will keep things as simple as possible. My goal is to recreate our training system. To do that, I will place a push button and an indicator light on a small control panel. Clicking on this icon displays all sensors. Sensors send signals to the PLC like our push button. Clicking on this icon displays all actuators. This includes our lamp. Just like in the TIA portal, we should always label our sensors and actuators in FactoryIO. This makes the following steps much easier. Just like in our real training system, we have now added a push button and a lamp in FactoryIO. Next, we need to assign input and output addresses to the PLC. Click on the Drivers tab. The driver regulates how FactoryIO communicates with other devices. In our case, we will select PLCSIM, but as you can see, there are many other options as well. The push button should appear as input I0.0 in the PLC. The lamp should be controlled by output Q0.0. That's all we need to do in FactoryIO. I am now on the official FactoryIO website. The developers provide a detailed online manual that explains the software in great detail. We are here because we need a template to connect PLCSIM and FactoryIO. Click on Tutorials and Samples, Siemens, Setting up, PLCSIM. Depending on the TIA version you are using, download the right template. I am using a S7 1200 with TIA version 19, so I will download this file. Thank you so much for learning PLC programming with me. If you want to take your skills to the next level, visit my website. Join my full online course and start your journey as a PLC programmer. I would love to have you on board. I am now in the TI portal. Once you have extracted the downloaded file, you can open it here. TI portal is backward compatible. This means that you can open an older project, for example a project written in TIA version 15 in TIA version 19 by upgrading it. However, a version 19 project cannot be opened in an older version. Keep that in mind. After upgrading the project, you will see this screen. The entire hardware configuration has already been set up by the FactoryIO team. Just leave it as it is. Modifying it often leads to problems. Our task is to create PLC tags for our sensors and actuators. And that's exactly what I'm going to do now. I have now created PLC tags for the FactoryIO sensors and actuators. These tags can now be used in the program. In the template, there is already a block in OB1 which manages the data exchange between FactoryIO and PLCSIM. Just leave this block as it is. Now I will create a program for our training system. We are almost done. Next I will start PLCSIM and transfer the project to the virtual PLC just as I showed you in the last video. I have now loaded the project into the virtual PLC in PLCSIM. The system is in run mode and I'm monitoring the program live. Now let's open FactoryIO again. All that's left to do is to establish a connection and set FactoryIO to run mode as well. I will now arrange the different windows properly and then we will check the result together. Here you can see the virtual training system in FactoryIO. It is now connected to the simulated PLC in PLCSIM. When I press the push button, input I0.0 in the PLC becomes true and output Q0.0 is activated. Now be honest guys, this is super cool, isn't it? And you can use this training system for free for 30 days. With FactoryIO you can do so much more than just basic simulations. You can program small and medium-sized systems all the way up to huge virtual factories. No matter what skill level you are as a PLC programmer, this software will help you to take it to the next level. Alright my friends, that's it for now. I've been using FactoryIO since 2020 and I highly recommend the software. If you would like to buy or test FactoryIO, check out my website. I will see you again in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're excited to dive deeper into PLC programming, visit my website at plccoach.com. See you in the next video.